Welcome, boys, to Operation Husky. This time we're going to be playing on the other side of the line as the Italian Assietta Division. Now, we've actually been reduced to a single battle group, although we need to try and halt American forces as quickly as possible. The only way we're going to be able to win this battle is to halt those forces and wait for our German allies. So let's go ahead and get right into the fight. It looks like we might have a little bit of artillery support, but you can see that the American force balance there is greatly against us. Well, wish us luck. Let's go. Now, we've got a pretty interesting setup here, and we've got that wonderful Semovente tank with the howitzer. I love this gun so much. But what I want to get in here is an actual mortar, at least one mortar. So let's get the Tiratore Scelto, the sniper here. Let's see if we can take him out. No, maybe not. Let's see if we can get rid of the Fusileri. Put the mortar. We're going to have to get rid of another unit to put the mortar in. Maybe another Fusileri group. We're going to have to take out quite a lot. Wait a minute. What's wrong with me? Boom, boom, and we have to take out one of the machine guns. I think it'll work. The machine guns are great, but I think that mortar is going to be much more helpful. Let's go, boys. Alright, the enemy will likely be coming up this road right here from Casa di Inero. At least I think that's a very likely position for them to be. So what we're going to try to do is send our machine gun in there as quickly as possible. So we'll take Rosayenda's group. Yep, he's headed that way. I'm also going to bring up a few more over here for this right side. So let's take the Controcarro. This is the anti-tank unit. I'm just going to keep them behind the line. And a second Fusileri machine gun group, I'm going to move them over here, fast move them behind that stone wall. So pretty much we're just sending points of defense that the Americans are going to have to get through. We've also got our beautiful Semovente tank over here. Don't really want to sacrifice him to the Enna Junction area, but I'm trying to kind of like take central control of the map here, if that makes sense. We know that the Americans are going to be arriving over here, so if we can get up to that 128 meter position, especially with the sniper, I feel like we're going to be off to a pretty good move. So let's at least do our best here. We're going to just fast move up to that where that tree is. I'll take the Semovente, and with the Semovente tank, I just want to go ahead and hunt. So essentially the second he spots an enemy unit, he will begin to fire. And we're going to do the same with the Fusileri unit right here. I'm going to actually try to put it behind those rocks near the sniper to assist, essentially, in defending that position. Now, over here at the Enna Junction, we've got multiple lines of attack. So we need, of course, multiple lines of defense. Let's just grab that command platoon. I don't want to risk the command platoon, but what I will do, put these Fusileri right there and grab these units. As you can see, like, most of our army is made up of light machine gun units, so we really have to try to make the best of them. The mortar is in a perfect position, and as for this just standard rifleman unit, I think we're going to need some additional defenses up there on top of the hill, so let's make it up there. We've got a bunch of additional Fusileri units here, and I think I'm going to send them to the Casa di Inero. Again, we'll decide what to do with them in time. Keep those guys there. Maybe another group over here, really trying to spread it out evenly. Another thing for those of you that are fairly new to the Bloody First, you can see that you can add sniper units to existing units. So we do have in a few of these machine gun groups and some of these rifleman groups, we actually have sniper units attached. That does cost us more points, but certainly worth it depending on the battle you're fighting in. So again, same with this unit, pushing them forward. As for these two guys, I'm actually going to just keep them back here as reinforcements in case we need them. And let's get started with the fight, boys. Wish us luck. Let's stop the Americani. Here we go. It's gonna be a tough one. You can see our men already moving into battle there. They are really tempted to start firing. I'm gonna grab the platoon commander and kind of set him over here behind these rocks. As you can see, I'm already kind of concerned about potential contacts. And what do you know? We've already got an M5A1 light tank over there. I wonder if the Semovente can spot him yet. If he can, this is just a great opportunity to get an easy kill on some enemy armor, guys. I'm already starting to see some enemy infantry over here, so you know what? Let's grab that Mortaio de 45. There we go. We're going to start firing at the BAR team. And man, that's a lot of Americans moving over there. Man, the Semovente, we got to keep him focused here. Because if he misses this shot, we are in serious trouble. We do have an anticarro, or an anti-tank team, but he's not really that effective. Let's make sure this sniper is firing as well. The Tiratore Scelto. And actually, he's firing over here. There's another enemy tank in this area. I'm thinking we need to bring in the artillery and try and eliminate one of these bits of armor now. So let's do it. I'm going to try to call it right there so it also will tag the infantry. But the idea being that we knock out one of these enemy tanks. Then we just have to deal with one, and that makes our job a lot easier. Mortars out. All right, a little far for my liking. Let's grab this machine gun group. And I'm going to fast move over to this tree. Hopefully we start getting shots across the way there. We do also want to make a push to Enna Junction, but it's pretty dangerous. And you can see the Semovente is having some difficulty moving up here. We're going to order him again, but of course we've got to be extremely careful for that enemy tank. The mortars are going out, but unfortunately, they're not tagging him. Okay, he is obscured. The Semovente can still take shots, though. And I say we might as well. Pretty nice hit on one of the enemy units back there, and nice mortar hit on the advancing infantry here. Get him. Nice, man! Our mortars and arty are just doing spectacularly. Unfortunately, on this right side, not nearly as much luck. Let's take a look here at our position. I'm going to grab the Fucilieri team, put them into this house. So we'll have two hard targets, essentially, for the enemy to kill. Oh, they are returning fire. Nice hit there. Look at that that artillery, man. It's definitely doing its job. Well, yes and no, because it's damaging the enemy infantry, but those tanks are looking just fine. Keep it up, Semovente, keep it up. And unfortunately, two Fucilieri teams have fallen back. I think probably from tank fire from over here. We've also got an enemy machine gun group right there. No doubt they've taken their fair share of rounds. Keep in mind, guys, all we have to do is keep the enemy back in this particular fight. We just need to keep them back. We can't allow them to cross. We can't allow them to get any closer. And hopefully this Tiratore Scelto will help with that. Nice sniper here. That's it in terms of support, as far as I know, in this fight. See how this guy's doing? He's already lost a few guys. Oops, sorry. I don't want to actually move him from here. Yeah, let's just target the enemy. Looks like most of our infantry units, both Fucilieri units on both sides here, are firing specifically at the infantry units behind this tree right here. But it looks like they're starting to send some scouts over here into the middle, and pretty effective mortar rounds from the enemy here. Alright, Semovente is still trying to get some hits. Now, unlike the enemy tank, we are not firing blind. That is one benefit. And that enemy 50 cal is just really well defending itself behind this stone wall. It's almost impossible to get hit on them. See if the Tiratore can maybe get behind. I'm not so sure. I think we should actually focus on the scouts. Unfortunately, we don't have any line of sight. So let's grab this Tiratore, and I know it's a bit risky, but we're actually going to try to move him behind that hill there. Let's fall back over here and see how we're doing. Yeah, we're keeping them under fire. I mean, they are not advancing. That's how we want it. So as long as there's no aggressive push here, well, then we're essentially doing the right thing. Still, that fire continues, and we still have not tagged the enemy. We've got to be a bit more aggressive. Attenzione, attenzione. Here we go. And again, getting into the danger zone here to be able to do this, but I must try and knock out that tank. Still no line of sight. We're going to have to get a lot closer. But I don't think I want to actually risk the Semovente. So for now, we're going to keep him back here. Just keep our eye on that central point. We don't know if the enemy's going to try to bum rush past us and get there. But as long as they don't advance with any of these units or that tank, I'm really not too worried. They would need to get aggressive here for us to be under any sort of threat. Nice shot. perfect shot with the Semovente. You can see here our morale is not great, so despite doing so much damage here to the enemy, we're actually the ones with lower morale during this fight. And that's why, you know, trying to keep the Semovente alive is so important. If we lose him, I'm thinking half the morale will drop almost instantly. It's a very, very important unit here. Right now, we'll just start targeting the scouts. We might as well, because it's the only unit we can see, and that enemy tank has not moved one bit. Okay, that we gotta be careful for. We got a BAR team approaching. Getting pretty damn close. I don't like that one bit. Merda. We're gonna have to move up with the MG because they're gonna end up overwhelming us here. So push forward with the MG. Keep firing with the Semovente to the west at least. In fact, we might just have to set this thing up right here. Might not even be able to wait for cover. I'll certainly try. Abre fuego. Here we go, trying to stop that advance by the enemy. Takes some time to set up the machine gun, though. It's not an instantaneous thing at all. Yeah, they are heavily under fire. Look at that. Fuciletti just lost a unit. Yeah, this is the problem, is that if they send any units forward, we undergo a serious problem in terms of stopping them. So I'm going to actually try to move this tank up here, be a bit on the counteroffensive, and try to hit that enemy tank right there. Because if we end up losing the Enna Junction area, we can always take it back. We also still have enough victory points to claim a victory. But I think staying here is not necessarily the best idea. As you can see, our guys are kind of losing their minds. This guy completely losing his mind in a panic. And unless we want to send some additional men forward, that could be an issue. Now, we do have these reinforcements. So you know what? This is a perfect time to grab these machine gun units and start pushing them forward. Although, look at that. The enemy is beginning their advance on this area. And the reason I know that is this Fusileri unit is taking fire. So for sure, they're beginning their advance here. Let's try to hang left, away from the incoming fire if we can, and keep our eye on the Semovente. This is going to be ultra important. Per favore, Semovente. Well, he canceled that order really fast. Oh, took a hit! Penetrating hit, guys. Penetrating hit on the Semovente tank. Holy crap. One of our guys is wounded. I don't know how the hell that happened. I'm guessing that tank has a visual on us that we do not have on that tank. I mean, at least he's still operational, but look at that. BAR team is moving forward. They're almost certainly going to overrun our MG team, and this is where things get a little more complicated. Let's see if the Fusileri can spot them. Not quite. Might have to give into the trees here to be able to see them. But for now, we'll stay on a defensive maneuver. How about that? So if they advance on this group, we'll have somebody waiting for them. Merda Semovente. The gun is out, guys. Our Semovente is useless. So just a single hit there by the enemy, and you can see the problems caused. Luckily, we still have a bunch of mortar rounds here. I'm going to drop them directly on the BAR team. Now, the only anti-carro team we had, or AT team we had, I think was over here. Yeah, Controcarro. We're going to fast move him to where the enemy tank is. Hopefully, we get there safely. We'll also move the Fusileri, or the infantry squad, just to give them a little additional cover as they move over there. But I think that's the only thing that's going to be able to take out the enemy tank. Now, the machine gun will still work on that thing, but everything else is pretty much useless. Keep him focused. Keep him focused. Absolute madness out here. No, the Fusileri are taking nasty shots. Really nasty shots. Even though we're not going to do much damage to the 30 cal, I'm going to open up on them so that they have to focus over here. I think it's a range thing here, although our machine gun seems to be able to do still some damage to them. So if the Controcarro can get up here, man, we are going to feel great. Okay, doing great against the BAR team. So look at that, guys. Look at that. Knocked them all out. We can still win this fight. We can absolutely still win this fight. See how quickly it changes. What's one thing I could say positively about the Bloody First? There's a lot of criticism I have on this game, but one thing I could say positively is things change realistically. So it's like you could feel like you're on top of the world at first, and the next second the enemy's doing a counterattack and pushing you back quite well. So I will give it that. You just never know. You've got to be very aware, and we still have to take that area. It's not enough just to knock these guys down. We still have some work ahead of us. Although hopefully moving this Controcarro up will allow us to knock out that American tank. Not even sure what sort of weapon they use. I'm pretty sure it's an actual grenade, an anti-tank grenade. I don't believe they have any sort of anti-tank missile weapon of any sort, or an anti-tank rifle, for instance. I don't think they have that. Forza, forza, forza. Controcarro. Oh no. Viva Italia. We're not close enough. We're not close enough. We're not close enough. We've got to be right on top of the bastard. Apri fuoco. Nope. I don't think it's going to work. They're going to try anyway. They got completely outclassed here by the rifle team. You know what? We could still try to sneak. I'm going to toss some smoke. Oh, man. See how quickly we get knocked out with the Controcarro team? That is not a sneak maneuver. Alright, he is falling back, and you know what? With reason, actually. With reason. I have to say, the Italian AT teams are not the best. Well, neither are the Italian rifle teams, but that's one of the fun parts of playing here with them, is I do like a bit of a challenge. Well, we can grab these guys and bring them back to Fucilieri. They have taken 3 unconscious, so incredibly no killed. But I am actually going to have them sneak over here to Oliveto del Sud, so that olive grove will be in our territory at least. And of course, continue the gunfights with the enemies. I mean, one of the biggest difficulties of fighting in Italy is, of course, just the fact that there are so many hills, so much rocky terrain, especially in Sicily, that it's quite easy to set up ambushes, it's quite easy to set up defenses, and you're really taking inch by inch. Even without trenches, it's still an inch-by-inch fight. In fact, these rocks almost make sort of natural trenches. Now, I am annoyed we didn't get the light tank, but at the very least, he's remaining there for now. So is the other one. If we can keep things the way they are, maybe we can still come through with a victory here. Let's see. They are sneaking. The sneaky Italians. Molto bene. They're actually doing quite well. The enemy's not firing at us whatsoever from over here, although that could mean that they're moving into the same area. And keep in mind, another reason that during this particular battle, that the Italian units have such a massive morale loss. Nice shot, boys. Just hit one of the MG gunners, even with minimal damage, is because this is a company made of a bunch of different divisions that have already been defeated. So we've merged them together into one company, and that's kind of what we're dealing with. I also noticed over here, barely noticed that before, but we've had a lot of enemy mortar shots trying to strike us back here. They weren't very lucky. Don't know what they were going for there. Maybe they were trying to hit our mortar. That's certainly a possibility. Enemy tank advancing. Man, it all comes down to whether or not our men can deal with this. We could try to fire some mortar rounds back there. And it is possible, though extremely unlikely, to disable a tank with mortar rounds. Let's go ahead and drop it right on the rifle team. Try and knock the rifle team out. Got a tank coming up the Enna Junction. Not a damn thing we can do about it. Except wait for it, and maybe one of our guys will get a lucky nade. It's not going to happen. You can see he's already opening fire on us over here with his MG. The Fucilieri are in big trouble for sure. So now it's just a numbers game. It's can we, lower their morale sufficiently or hold our morale until the end of this fight? I'm not so sure. You know what? I am going to use the mortar on the tank. Again, I have managed to track a tank before with mortars. And desperate times, as I say, do call for desperate measures. This is certainly desperate times. Keeping our heads down and just returning fire is the best thing to do right now. It really is. Just try and cause, you know, as many casualties as we can amongst the enemy. Oh, that's new. Look at that. So we actually destroyed some of the enemy wall with our mortar strikes. That was not there when the game was released. So I like a little bit of environmental destruction has been added. Ooh, all right. There's no way that thing's gonna hit the tank. Come on, Agrippa. Come on, man. I mean, like, even though there's a chance, it's so remote, we're better off targeting their infantry. Especially the infantry that's moving around in the platoon HQs. So, where the enemy officers are. If we can kill a few officers, we can turn the tide of battle. Missed your shot. Sorry. Try again. Now again, guys, we are still holding most of these locations. In fact, we're about to take Oliveto del Sud. I mean, we are, like I said, we're holding most of these areas. I'm just going to set this up on an ambush. Looking that way, so in case the enemy does try to retake the point, we will put up some fight. And look at that. I think we just killed the last of the scouts there. Tremendous shot. And actually, I didn't expect the mortar to get close enough to the platoon HQ, because it's so far away, but it's getting great shots on the platoon HQ. Maybe we can get some lucky ones. You will be remembered for Italy, men. All of the men here are finished. Molto bene. Pretty consistent mortar fire, too. Look at that. Another one out. Nice, man. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, now, yeah, now they're getting some very effective shots here. What we should do at this point, even though most of the enemy knows where we are, of course, but what we're going to do, number one, is target that rifle. Number two, I'm going to simply set the Fucilieri up on ambush. These guys will allow to keep firing because they're going to be focused on the guys back here. They're going to hopefully ignore the guys here and fall into a nice little ambush. But as you can see, yeah, our guys are breaking away the Fucilieri over here and the machine gun group over here. Both of them have had enough. They're getting away from that hill. Montaña de Muerta. No, that's more Spanish. Come on now. Monte de Fucile. No, that's Hill of Shooting. Well, it is the Hill of Shooting. Ten minutes. 10 minutes. They can have that junction. I'm not going to try to take it. I want to see if we made them pay for it at all. I mean, we've certainly made their infantry pay for it, but we have not damaged anybody in their tank. Tank really has it out for the MG unit there. I think we're out of mortar rounds. Yeah, we are. So we'll take this guy. He's actually already opening fire. And even though the Semovente doesn't have a frontal gun, I think it still has a... Wait a minute. No, he's good. No, but it says gun out. I wonder, guys. I wonder if he can still fire. It's a little... No, he cannot. That's too bad. The Semovente really just operates on one gun. It doesn't have, like, a secondary machine gun. So, as you can see there, if one gun is out, they're all out. Here we go. Merta. That's it, guys. It's going to be battle complete. Let's take a look at the debrief here. And it's stalemate, man. I will absolutely take that stalemate. If we gave that battle like 20 more seconds, the enemy would have broken us. That tank was moving up on us. Again, there's always that like 5% chance, it might even be less than that, that a grenade will knock a track off. But again, it's really unlikely. what's amazing here is, like, we wounded a bunch of the enemy, but only 5 killed. Same for our side, so it seems like most of the guys got away from this fight. I wouldn't say with cuts and bruises, but at least hopefully able to go home or spend the rest of the war in a prison camp. But at least it'll be an American one. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoy these Close Combat, the Bloody First videos, let me know. And if you particularly like the Italian perspective, then tell me down below by saying Forza Italia. Grazie mille, amici, and I'll see you on the next one.